Hello, everyone. My name is Chelsea Graves, and I'm here with the melancholy degenerate, that's not real emo, revolutionary, highly educated with fingers no further from the pulse, Brandon McDonald of Home is Where. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the intro. It was very nice.
And we are going to jump right in.
Yeah.
So the first thing that we're going to ask is, what were some influences that helped create this raw and very imaginative sounding album that you've produced this year?
Watching a lot of Scientology escape videos, getting back into Ed, Ed, and Eddie, and a bunch of different, musically, a lot of different stuff. Mostly like old time folk music, like recorded in the 10s to like the 30s, and going through a pretty heavy gender crisis, which I can comfortably, I'm a lot more comfortable now with myself after doing this record and figuring out a couple things and having a really supportive partner. That always helps.
Oh, good. We love to hear that. We love to hear some positives on these sides. I've noticed this isn't exactly the first time you've made music, because I've checked out your Bandcamp before. It says that the earliest that you uploaded, and I could be wrong, but it was like a single split track that you uploaded in 2017. Was there any more before Home is Where, or was there any other projects that you were working on before this?
Yeah, there was a lot. The boys, Trace and Joe, are in a band called the Ned, and they're older than Home is Where. So they've been around for a while. And then I went up to Joe, asking him if he wanted to start a project, and then Trace got interested, and then Connor came along, kind of by accident, but like it was like a happy accident, of course, because he's one of the best bass players I've ever met. And then yeah, I was in a band before Home is Where that didn't have a name. We mostly dabbled in like black metal and like shoegaze. And then me and Connor from Home is Where have a black metal side project with the same drummer from the original band. And then I do a bunch of stuff on my own. I make like house music sometimes, and like ambient music, and sometimes I'll make beats. I have a harsh noise record floating around there somewhere. There was a while before Home is Where I would just mess around on Logic and just have fun, and just make literally noise, sometimes like harsh noise, sometimes just combining samples into this weird like amalgamation of I don't even know what you'd call it. And then there's an older thing that not a lot of people know about before the single you're talking about, whereas we had like a demo, an iPhone demo called Facebooks of Dead Friends, where I uploaded like 4 songs that we were working on, so all of us can like listen to it, because I couldn't figure out how to send the files in an email, because like every time I would do it, they couldn't open them for some reason. So I was like, all right, I'll upload it to Bandcamp and let them hear it. So yeah, but I took that down because it is god awful. It's terrible. And yeah, we have an EP before the record came out called Our Mouse to Smile. And that's about it. Yeah, Home is Where doesn't have too much out. And I'm sorry if you hear the racket. My cat has decided to disturb the interview. Okay, there's a cat butt right in my face. Bagel.
The way you structure your writing, I've noticed,
He likes
is very
attention.
poetic. How long have you been writing for? What encouraged you to write this certain and unique style of writing?
Sorry, I started writing when I was like really young. I actually started writing comic books when I was a kid, like Sunday Funny, kind of like Calvin and Hobbes Peanuts kind of things. And then I wrote like short fiction when I was a kid. I was really into like horror and stuff. So here he goes. And so I wrote like a lot of like weird, spooky stories. And I started dabbling in poetry like around when I was like 13. Like I got into poetry because of Bob Dylan and the Beat Generation, like people like Allen Ginsberg and Jack Kerouac and all those folks. And I've just kind of tried to hone it as much as I can. Like I feel like I wear my influences on my sleeves, but I also like really try to do something a little bit different. Like my writing style is I want every line to be able to like stand on its own, like out of context, like the line just be able to hold weight without anything backing it. I think you might have noticed we don't have any choruses. Like it's all verses and it's all verses and like little like refrains. Like they're not exactly choruses. Choruses, yeah, that's about it. Like I just really like to take my time with this. I actually started writing this record when I was 17. The lyrics have changed a lot, and like the idea behind the record has like changed a lot. But I've been working on it for a while. This is like my baby. This is like something I wasn't even sure if I wanted to record it, but it felt done and it felt right. So it was like, okay, maybe it's time I stop working on this and start working on something else.
Wow, that is so cool. Yeah, I just love the EP so much. EP, album, whatever you want to call it.
I appreciate that a whole bunch. Yeah.
Pre-COVID, I'm assuming that you did go to some of the bar and like backyard shows scenes and like were kind of a part of it. What was the vibe like compared
Yeah.
to, say, going to a show in New York or going to a show somewhere that's not in Florida? Because I've heard that the scenes in Florida are a little bit different than outside of the region of the US at least.
Yeah. Florida's weird. Like I said, we stuck to playing like venues we were used to. I wasn't out yet, so I dressed fairly masculine, whatever the hell that means at this point. But yeah, I like a t-shirt and jeans, masculine. But yeah, so that was like I wasn't worried like in that front, like I didn't like I'm kind of like I'm really tall, so I don't think too many people were like gonna like mess with me or anything like that. Like Florida, like I don't drink either, so like the bar scene is like super weird to me because I'll go in there like I'll be like totally like just totally straight and like I like have to deal with all these drunk people like yelling at me while I'm like singing these songs that like mean like a lot to me, and it's like yeah, okay, and it's really hit or miss. Like it depends. Like if you have some sort of like connection to where you're playing, like you're probably going to have like a really good show and a really good turnout. But like if you're like a nobody, and this is like your first time like at a venue or like just in a certain area and like you don't have like a popular like local band backing you, no one is going to be there. Like absolutely no one. They're going to come in, they're going to get their drink or their food, and they're going to leave. So, and I haven't really noticed that with too many other places. We did one tour, and it was the crowds were different everywhere we went. But we did notice that like there was more common like similarities between like other states than like Florida. I'm excited to start touring again, and God knows when that'll be. But I'm excited to start touring again, and see more, like get more of an experience. Because when we went on tour, we had no released like music like at all, other than the iPhone demo. We made like a tour CD that was like us in the garage, like messing around, like just making noise and like yeah, just literally just something to sell for $1 so we can get like like Taco Bell like on the road or something. Like it wasn't anything special. I think I have one last melted tour CD in my car somewhere that is just crammed into some crevice. And yeah, so Florida, like if you're going to Florida, just make sure like you research bands that you're playing with, because if like it's I don't know if it's like an elitist thing. I'm a little hesitant to use that word, but it's definitely like people have a hard time here supporting like local until you get bigger, so it is what it is.
Good to know. Good to know. So what are some of the best non-emo records that you've heard this year?
I'm pretty bad at staying up to date with like contemporary music outside of emo. I'm usually pretty late to the party for a lot of things. Like I didn't get into like 100 gecs until like a couple months ago, honestly. Like it took me a while for it to like sink in, and that was like a big deal. I like the Jute Gate album. I don't know how you say his name. He's a one-man black metal band from America. And he released, not album, 2 EPs that are really long. And yeah, I really like his work a whole lot. AAESPO, like that's like the abbreviation. I think his name is Aaron Esposito. He's like an ambient composer. And he released a really good collaboration album with a person whose name I can't remember right now, but it was really cozy. And there's a lot of really good hardcore records coming out. Like the Gulch Tsunami Split was tight. Pupil Slicer have a really good record. I think my favorite record of the year so far is a deathcore album by Hazing Over, who were Shin Guard, but now they're Hazing Over. I freaking love Hazing Over. That shit's amazing. Oh, am I allowed to swear? I just realized I've been swearing a good
totally
bit.
Fine. We are called mute that shit for a reason.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Hazing Over was a big one, and there's like a few hip hop releases that came out this year from like Slums affiliates, like people who like are in like who like collaborate with like Mike and like Navy Blue and people like that a ton. There've been some good stuff out of there. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I know that for a fact, like some people in that crew or collective, I don't know what you'd call it. Yeah, they always release really good stuff. But yeah, that's as much as I can think. Like probably the one I can't stop listening to is the Hazing Over EP. That's amazing.
Right on. Yeah, because I'm always looking for new stuff, and I figured that from our conversation that we had through Instagram, I kind of figured, I was like, okay, I feel like we could talk about music a lot. So we just wanted to have the opportunity to learn something.
Yeah. What shirt are you wearing?
Currently Christian Death, Only Theater of Pain.
Oh, nice.
And I was wearing my Deeds of Flesh shirt, but then someone bought it, so I had to sell it.
Dang. Okay. Hustling. I get it.
Got it. Unfortunately. Got to do what you got to do in these hard times. So who would win in a fight? People who became birds or homes that are where and why?
I thought about this one. I'm going to say the people who became birds, because they know where they're at. They know what they are. Whereas the homes that are aware have no idea what's going on. And I don't think they're going to realize they're in a fight until after it's over and they're on the stretcher heading to the hospital. So I'm going to go with the birds.
I love that you had to think about it too. You're like, wait, hold on now.
Yeah, because I want to get. I know it's like kind of a silly question, but I want to think about it. It's a little bit of a it's an interesting question, no doubt.
All right, I guess that's gonna be it for right now. Brandon McDonald, thank you so much for being a part of this interview and having the opportunity to talk with me and mute that shit. If you want to, go ahead, plug whatever you want, shout out whatever you want, your Instagram, your Bandcamp, whatever you want to shout out, go for it.
Sure. We're on Spotify. Our name again is Home Is Where. We have an album, and I stress the word album to the fullest extent out on Bandcamp, called I Became Birds. Yeah, it's on Spotify. I mean, it's also on Bandcamp. Like, you can look us up on Bandcamp if you want to. Like, the album costs $1 if you want to download it, but if you also don't have $1 to spare, you can just email me and I'll email it to you for free with like no questions asked. Like, you don't need to give me some sob story. Just be like, hey, can't afford it. Can I have it? And I'll just be like, yeah, give me a day if I'm busy or something. And you can follow me on Twitter at Bob Dylan Smells. And then Instagram is I Wonder What Bob Dylan Smells Like. Oh yeah, well, I guess we have a TikTok, which is I'm not funny. Like it's painful. It's physically painful to do TikTok sometimes, but so yeah, that's everything I got to plug.
All right, thank you again so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for having me. This was fun.